Hello everybody, this is Tim again here with another movie review, this time for The Meg 2. Now just to say, I believe I reviewed The Meg like a long time back. The first Meg I thought was just kind of like alright. I didn't really love it, didn't really hate it. It's been forever since I've seen it. I remember only somewhat of it. But it was alright from what I remember. Kind of like a time waster, or okay maybe. Something like, it was somewhere in the okay to alright range as a time waster. My big problem with it is when enough Meg action need to be rated R. Meg 2, I will say, is all right. Again, this is a 2.5 star film out of 4 for me. It's an all right time killer movie. I like this better than the first, at least from what I remember about the first, only because there's more monster action here. I will say this: if this was just like just a Jason Statham action film, if I just looked at this as a Jason Statham film, I got tongue tied there for a minute. If I just looked at this as a Jason Statham film, I probably would give it a 3 out of 4, just as a Jason Statham flick. Um, as the Meg 2, the Trench or whatever, I'd give it 2.5. The biggest problems here, same thing I kind of had the first one. The sharks are not really the focus, and when they finally do become the focus by the third act or whatever, or become more the focus because they're still really never the focus. This is more of just a straight up monster movie as compared to the first, which was kind of trying to be that. This is even more that because there's a bunch more creatures here. Pretty much they go to the trench, you find out these other people are working down there or whatever. They're doing illegal type crap, mining for this mineral and all that. Big explosion happens and everything, and Jason Statham and his crew get like stranded in there. They kill off the Asian woman from the first one. Why, I don't know, but at least I like the fact that they kept some continuity. So Jason Statham has like a surrogate daughter he's taking care of and everything. There's 3 big Megs in this one. 2 of them end up getting killed. One of them is like trying to be friends. The Asian dude in the movie who's like the uncle of the little girl is like, he's like trying to be friends with the last Meg or whatever, and he keeps saying that he's talking to it. Jason Statham's like, yeah, right. And they play that joke up through the movie. It's pretty funny. But you do get the hint that if they make a third one, they'll probably push that further, and he might be like riding on the Meg or something. The Asian dude might, where they might be best buddies or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you probably could have pushed that in this movie, and just that's probably my biggest problem with these movies. They don't go crazy enough with their concept. Like, they should just be live action, or not live action, but these should just be over the top trauma monster movies, is what they should be, really. Or the movies should just have like constant more like kaiju, monster destroying everything action. And these movies do poor in the U.S., but they do really good in China because they're a big fan of these killer monster movies, and I can see why. And this movie just needed more of that. It needed more blood and guts as well. You do get some blood here towards the end when the sharks are like eating everybody and all that. The monsters are killing everybody, but you don't get a lot of it throughout. A lot of it's just like Jason Statham and his crew, whatever, who get stranded trying to survive in the ocean, so they can get back to the surface and everything. And you find out like the blonde girl who works for their company or whatever is the traitor, which was kind of obvious. It probably would have been more impactful, dramatic wise, if it turned out to be like the Asian uncle. But no, it's the blonde chick. Another thing, they play it safe. They don't kill off enough of the main characters or whatever. These need to be rated R. You need to push it more instead of just trying to be like fun PG-13 movies. And in some ways they succeed, and some of the characters here are pretty funny. The black dude who's also in the original, and he's back in this one or whatever, and he's like doing funny quotes about how he like took up learning how to fight, and he always packs a gun around with him in his survival backpack and everything, and he always keeps it loaded with stuff. And he's got condoms in there, and he's like for different type of survival or whatever, something like that. It's pretty funny. But he's like, I made poison tip bullets or whatever, like from Jaws 2. He's pretty funny. He does have maybe one scene where he gets a little bit too maybe close to black stereotype territory, where he's like, yeah boy, or something like that. But that's about it. Overall though, yeah, by the time you get to the end and all the creatures get free from the trench and they're like trying to go to a beach and save everybody, similar to the first movie, Jason Statham's there and he's like using these harpoon type things or whatever that's got bombs on them, so he can blow up the Megs. And the one Meg is like almost friends with the Asian guy, or he thinks it's almost friends with him. That one pretty much survives to live to the third movie, which there will be because this did well in China. But yeah, Jason Statham's like having to fight all these creatures. You got like this big like Architeuthis prehistoric giant squid creature that honestly seemed more powerful than the sharks, that was like destroying everything, and everything ends up getting a fight with one of the sharks. I think it's the sharks the Asian guy likes or whatever. It kind of saves him, and it manages to take out the giant squid creature or whatever. And for a second there, it looked like the giant squid creature was going to kill the shark. Realistically, it probably would have killed the shark, but still though, it's a pretty good fight. They open up the movie with like showing the food chain where the bigger dinosaurs eat the little dinosaurs, and then the T-Rex eats the medium-sized dinosaurs, and then the Meg just pops up out of the water and kills the T-Rex. Realistically, though, the Meg did get pretty close to land or whatever when it jumped out to kill the T-Rex. I'm not really sure that could actually happen in real life. or could have actually happened. But yeah, it is what it is. Still a fun scene. And when you get to the end, you also got like these little dinosaur type things or whatever that are like the medium sized ones from the beginning who are just like running around on land, like eating people and everything. You get some fun action with them where they're trying to evade them and stuff. That was pretty funny. Um, yeah, it's overall just the fun top ending or whatever climax, best part of the movie. It does go on maybe a little too long, but it is pretty action packed and fun. Overall, I do not hate this movie. I don't mind it. It just doesn't push itself enough, the absurdity of it, and there's just not enough of the absurdity of the giant monsters and stuff like it in it. Like you needed more of just the crazy destruction with the monsters throughout the movie. Like an objective of this type of movie is only to be fun and entertaining. And really, if you made it rated R, you probably would achieve that. They probably would have this to where it would be what I want from these movies, which is more just blood and guts and gore and just fun like that and exploitation, which is what these movies really want to be, but they keep trying to break out of that PG-13 cage to get there, but they can't. That's what these movies really need to be. But they're never going to let them be because they want these to be studio products. And overall, like I said, if this was just like a Jason Statham movie and I was just watching it as that, I'd be like, yeah, 3 out of 4, good. But as a Meg, killer monster movie and everything, it's a 2.5. It's slightly better than the first one for me because there's more just monster action and different varieties of monsters. Overall, I don't hate this film, but I don't mind it. I'm just kind of in the middle on it. It's one of those, yeah, I could pop this in and watch it, have an all right time with it for Jason Statham and the killer monsters, and be like, it's fine. Fine time. So yeah, overall 2.5 out of 4. I like it slightly better than the first one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again.